Hey, what's up, people that are humans? Hopefully there aren't any robots in the room. I'm surrounded by toxic Avengers. Look how cool this model is by Veteran. That is so cool. Even has the mop. Look at so muscular. Looks like we got Jan Willem and Jay's 3D and Mick V and Darius and Chris and Schweizer and Lubos. Hey, it's Wexter. He made this. I made this one in glow in the dark. Look how good that looks in glow in the dark. Yeah, it's pretty. And this one's an Alien Ooze PLA. Look at that. It's so green. It's like the greenest green. It's not grass green, just green. And the reason I have two blue ones is I tried some different settings. And then this one's printing in 3D Pink Mafia. And there's one back here finishing in some, I don't know what color that is. It's atomic silk green. So, well, this one, when you turn the lights off, you know what? Let me turn the lights off. Can I turn all the lights off in here? Let's see if I can get it dark enough in here so you can see this thing glow. 1 second. Nope, that's as dark as I can get it. No glow. But it is really dark in here now. Let me turn those lights back on. I can't reach the main light that I can turn off. That thing's too far away. So, all right, turn the lights back on. Who, me? Who there? Hey, what's up, Carlos from Spain? Camera's too good. Yeah, I forgot it's on auto adjust too, so it's gonna keep adjusting for the darkness. I do have good images of this thing in glow in the dark. I'll post some images on the Twitterverse. These things are super dope. They turn out so good. But today we've got something better. We're not just going to talk about Wexter's prints. We're going to talk about this Mark III that's going to be converted to Mark IIIs, which I think the only thing I've done is print the pieces, order 3 upgrades. So I have 3 upgrades. Yeah, I got 3 upgrades. And then that's it. I don't think I've done anything else. Oh, I upgraded the firmware already. So I already got the Mark IIIs firmware installed. So I also have the stock memory card with the stock print pro thingies on it. So we'll print a stock Benchy afterwards. It shouldn't be too long unless I mess up a lot. Then it might take a while. So let me move all my toxic Avengers. I'm gonna move all slowly. There'll be more though. Hopefully another one finishes here while we're chit-chatting, because this one should be done. It says 57 minutes. You're using me as the commute audio. Well, I'll put on my vest, not my vest. I will put on my best DJ voice. Can you tell me the dual color glow in the dark is just... Dual color glow in the dark is awesome. I wish I did some multicolor with it, but I didn't. Hey, what's up, Photos Mint? I just printed your thing the other day. Is it in here? No, it's probably upstairs. What did I print of yours? Oh, I printed your head in silver. Not your head. I printed your zombie head in silver. I printed them in PETG. And yes, there are glow blue PLA and PETG. Atomic makes them. So do other people, but I know Atomic has them. Video quality is bad. My video quality looks good on the screen. And who else is having issues? I have my fastest internet running. Oh, it's getting better. So it's catching up. It must be YouTube is catching up to my high quality video stream. I move my camera around a little bit too. So I'll be able to move things closer to the screen today. All right. So let's start building an extruder. It's the beard. Yeah, there isn't anything weird. It's just the beard. Ooh, I haven't tried the zero glow blue. Okay, let's grab my parts real quick because I printed a lot because I make mistakes. So, let's see. Here's a Z thingy or an X. Here's a lid. There's a lid. There's a carriage piece. Here's the thingy. Here's yep, that's a thingy too. And I need the little bits. I need the bearing thingy. I have no idea what to call these things. And here's the motor holder. Here's a little bitty fan duct that I made in high temp PETG, which was a failed experiment. It's just too brittle. I don't think I'd ever use high temp PETG. Here's another one just in case I break it while doing the install. Here's the little lever thing. The only big difference between the 3 and the 3S is the extruder. They did add a new Y-belt tensioner. I won't be doing that because I'll do that some other time. I have shoots to do today, so I want to make sure I get this done with enough time to chill before I go out and take pictures of humans. But mostly it's the extruder. So there's a brand new extruder that has a brand new filament sensor that is not a laser. Thank you, Prusa, for no longer using lasers. So, but there is also a new power supply by Delta, but that's not to do with that. I think they're just going to start shipping all printers with a new power supply. There should be enough pieces to start. I don't even have the directions in front of me, so we'll see how well this goes since I don't have any directions. But yeah, everything's brand new. So there's a new carriage piece. The extruder is much smaller and lighter, which is nice, and it's easier to disassemble, which is kind of a fan favorite here. I guess I have to cut new PTFE tube, or did they include? Let me grab my box of upgrades. All right, box of upgrades. Oh, there's a fan shroud included, so I might use that. So there is 2 extra PTFE tubes. I'll use their PTFE tubes. And here's a parts bag. So that should be good. I've got 3 kits in here. I am Polish. That's why I would have a Polish surname. Sure name. Can't speak today. My word's no good. Yeah, they did upgrade the X-axis, but that's been out for a while. They beefed up some things, and I believe I have that here. This should be the all beefed up one. Oh, here's some extra magnets. Here's some wires. So here's a new sensor. It's just an IR sensor, so just an on-off switch. So you lose a couple things. I know a lot of people have been griping, like you lose filament sensing, like is it moving? So jam detection is no longer there, but the filament sensor never really worked that well. Mine kept dying. Like they would work, and then they just, like the next day they wouldn't even, just error out. Yeah, they include plenty of zip ties. I don't even think you're going to use this many, but they give you let's read it here. They give you 10 zip ties, 2 PTFE tubes, 1 new sensor cable, an IR sensor, and then a bag of E-axis things. So 8 square nuts, 9 hex nuts, 1 M2x8, which the M2x8 is what holds the sensor in place, 13 M3x10s, 3 M314s, 3 M318s, 2 M320s, 6 M340s, 2 magnets, 1 steel ball, and a spring, which I'm guessing you can take the spring from the old one. But yeah, unfortunately, the infrared sensor can't read more than on off. So there's no possibility of upgrading this thing to jam detection, because it's just an on-off switch, which is great because it'll be more reliable, but bad because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh. I'm just happy that it supposedly works amazingly well. So that's my biggest concern was a lot of people did not have success with the laser sensor. And that was probably the biggest gripe from the Mark III was this laser sensor does not work, or it would work and then die, which was my case. Like every time, like it would work, and then 6 minutes later, the whole thing would fry because there's a bug. Like if you plug it in the wrong slot and turn the printer on, because there's 4, you can move it inside the channel or put it in the wrong channel, and when you did that, it would just fry it. So that was another issue. Because yeah, man, I order so many screws. I have McMaster-Carr is my friend. I just got another order in from McMaster-Carr yesterday. So, all right. I guess the first thing I should probably do is take apart the old extruder, but chiral symmetry, that's what the old sensor was. The company that produced the sensor, it just was an actual mouse tracking optics sensor. The downfall being was it's not reliable at all for measuring certain materials. And when they even, and the other argument was, well, it worked for me when I did indirect, but the issue was the sensor would just die. It wasn't reliable to any realm of making users happy or making Prusa happy. So, yes, I'll be able to provide more info on this extruder because I've never used this extruder. We were asking for details on this. I'm like, I've never built it yet. I've been waiting for Prusa to ship me all my goodness. The one thing I'll be doing is because I do have a micro Swiss nozzle on this one, and I can't use the micro Swiss nozzle because I do not have an extended version of this new nozzle or new shroud. So the shroud is teeny tiny. I mean, this is teeny tiny little shroud. It's a teeny tiny. It looks cool though. The only issue with the shroud is it's aimed for a stock E3D nozzle. The micro Swiss nozzle is slightly taller, so the cooling would cool on the nozzle instead of on the material. So I'm going to go back to a regular nozzle. What print settings did I use? That's a good question. I always use 3 perimeters and 30% gyroid infill. Stable enough and sturdy enough to be pretty. I increased the heat a little bit to get a little bit better, and the print quality is really good. So I mean, it's a nice print if it would focus on something besides my face. Yeah, it's a nice print. What's up, Thomas? Yeah. Yeah, someone needs to. There hasn't been any new designs on fan shrouds on the new Mark 3S design, so it's too new. I might dink around with it because I believe there's a step file included. Some step files I can dink with. I'm a horrible designer, but I can dink with things. I can put new holes and extend things when I'm in Fusion. So let me start building a new hot end. So I need a new hot end for this. This was built wrong anyway, this original one. The gap was too huge. So I have new parts. I always have new parts. So I'm going to need a silicon sock. I will need a brand new Mark III heat break. Boom. I'm going to need, let's see, what's my cleanest looking aluminum heat block? This is the cleanest looking one. There's a clean looking one. I will need a screw for that. Let's see here. Michael switched to the new Nozzle X. I've been switching all my printers slowly to the Slice Vanadium nozzle, because it's the Nozzle X that came out a year ago with all the same things, but made in America, not made in China. Yeah, everything's super organized because I do a lot of stuff on the go. So I got my heat sink. Oh wait, that's not a clean heat sink, is it? Is it a clean heat sink? I cleaned all my heat sinks yesterday. Oh, let me move that to the camera. Nope, it's a dirty heat sink. I got 2 dirty heat sinks over here. There we go. There's a clean heat sink. And I need a collect. And one more. Okay. I don't think E3D makes anything in the UK anymore. Just saying. Just saying. Genuine 2GD belts, you can get them from all 3D makers. You can get them from Printed Solid. Those are the 2 US brands that will carry those official belts. The ones that Prusa uses with the red thingy, the red coloring to them. All right, let's build this hot end. I could do this. I need some new paste. I need a glove. Hey, what's up, Orlando? I don't need to get too dirty. I took a shower already, so I can't get too dirty. I do have my Slice Engineering boron nitride paste. So this stuff is awesome. I'm using it all my printers. The nice thing is it ends up being a release agent. So when you take things apart, they're not stuck. Oh, if you're looking to get a Mark III, just go to Prusa's website. And yes, Cairo, this is the Slice boron nitride paste. I get it from the Printed Solid or directly from Slice. They are the same price. Anything else I'll need? I have a toolbox just for hot end assembly here. Dun dun dun. Get a couple of those. Slice paste. That's a kind of a cool name for it. I don't know why they don't call it slice paste. I've been bugging the guys from Slice to make normal nozzles too, because I really do dig their vanadium nozzle. I have it on both the blue one and that. And the blue one is what printed this. So this is the Slice nozzle with just regular PLA. I think it prints pretty darn good. You know, and this was the first thing that would, it was glow-in-the-dark filament, which you should have a hard nozzle for. So that's the quality that we're seeing. I mean, I don't care what angle I put this in. You're not going to see any weird artifacts. It's really clean. I even just removed my ruby nozzle because the green printer over here had the ruby nozzle. I removed that. All right, let me just clean this one more time. Since I'm in the USA, I order all of my stuff. So I have a collection of them from Extruder, from Printed Solid. I just tried to buy from Amazon because there's a lot of fake stuff on Amazon. So the only place I don't order my E3D parts. So anywhere that you can guarantee you're getting good stuff from. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, you can go for Matter Hackers. I know they'll carry the genuine parts. If I lived in the UK, I'd probably order direct because that should 100% guarantee me the best product ever. Let's see here. Yes, Orlando, definitely try the Slice nozzle. It's basically the Nozzle X, but it came out last year. So it has the same lifetime warranty, same Same high-speed tool steel. Same gets harder when it's higher temp. Same nano coating to protect against dirtiness. Same, yeah. It just came out last year. It didn't have the marketing hype. It didn't have a giant one nozzle to rule them all ad campaign. So, all right. So let me clean off the threads here a little bit because they might be gunky. And the one thing about the boron nitride paste is it dries quickly. So paper towel. And you can use like MX4 paste from Arctic. I think the only downfall in that is it actually has some sticking quality. So the CPU and the heat sink stick really well. This is the opposite. So when you need to take this thing apart, this thing won't be all sticky and gunky and gross. It actually cleans up pretty easy. And then use the finger to smush that into everything. Whoop. Done. Thread it in. You know, Bart, I shipped everything out to Mark at the end of last week, and he's in Germany. I'm in the U.S. It was USPS priority, or was it first? No, it was first class. And I have no idea how long that will take. But he's already got images back of 2 nozzles. So now we're just going to get more. Because that Dies Design nozzle, it looks rough, like to the eye. And I know they're having issues making a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, but that's what I use mostly, so that's what I got. So we'll see. That'll be nice to see that. Oh, Lars. You should be able to just use the stock firmware as long as you're using a 1.8 degree motor. If you're using the 0.9, I would wait for an official upgrade. All right, so let's get this depth set. I need a nozzle. Let's go in my box of nozzles here. I think I'm just going to put a copper-plated nozzle on here. I do have a diamondized nozzle. I do have just a regular brass nozzle. Yeah, we'll just put the copper, just a 0.4 millimeter copper nozzle on. You know, titanium heat breaks. That's a really good question. Are they worth it? I have no idea. I have thrown them on printers and I see no difference in what I do. So, but that doesn't mean it's not doing anything. It just, I can't quantify its helpingness. I don't notice the huge benefit that it says about, lower retractions. I don't see any half of the things that it says it does happen. But if you have heat creep issues, it might be a good idea to try them out. Test fit is good. Okay. Oh, good. So probably 2 more weeks because I did ship it out on a Friday. So, all right, let's set this screw in here. And we will set the set screw in there, just partially. Get in there. Remember, always a fresh set screw. And I forgot to take the old one out of here. So let's take the old set screw out of here. Because I always replace the set screws. They seem to be the first thing that strips. Little tiny, 2.5 millimeter set screws. I bought a bag of 100 of them from McMaster-Carr, as per usual. I am testing a clone titanium heat break, because one of the issues I had with the E3D titanium heat break was mine had just a giant bore. I don't know if that's normal, but the bore was huge. It was closer to 2 millimeters, or whatever it was. It was big. Like, you could tell it was a different size completely. And I used it and I didn't see any difference. They do make PTFE lined heat breaks, so it's the same heat break that E3D, but it's just PTFE line, so you can get less jamming. But then you can't print as hot, so no printing in the 260 range, guys and gals. All right, so we got that installed. Oh, we got to set the nozzle in here. So the secret is to get it flush and then unscrew it just over a quarter turn is what I do. And then screw it flush to the heat break. And then come in here all willy-nilly. Unlock your crescent wrench first. And lock it back up so it doesn't move. Hey, what's up, Jake from State Farm? And I'm just going to give it a light tightening before I do the final heat set tightening. So that's done. We'll put the PTFE tube in here, which is shorter now. Raise the tip. And now this is the secret part. While applying pressure downward, so while pushing down on this PTFE tube as hard as you can without ruining your finger, sometimes use my thumb so I can get good force on it. You want to shove this collet clip underneath the collar here, just to make sure the PTFE tube is locked. Always wear your collet clip. Always wear that tiny blue thing. Or if you print one, it's whatever color you want. If you're going to print 360, Lars, I would definitely switch to like Ultim or Peak, which you can order, or even Multi-Jet Fusion. That's a pretty darn good material. I forget how hot it gets, or how hot you can get with Multi-Jet Fusion, but it's pretty warm. I ordered a bag of clips from Printed Solid. They're like I think a quarter a clip, and I just bought like a dozen. But you can print them. If you just go to a Collet Clip, COLLET clip on Thingiverse or whatever, you should be able to print them. Well, you can't print Ultim and Peak without being able to print at Ultim and Peak temp. So 360. Ice creams 62. Yes. So here we go. We have a complete new hot end with the copper nozzle. I don't have any more stock brass nozzles. I have a mixed bag of clone nozzles from China. So let's bring the printer into place. Let's start disassembling this thing. All right. This out of here. All right. Settings. You know, it'd be really nice if I had an extra USB port and I just plugged it in Pronter Face and just... No. Chris doesn't do that. And nozzle temp. And we're going to take the old nozzle off. So we're going to warm this thing up to 275. Because I'm going to have to disassemble and clean this guy. 270. I'll do it at 280. Why not? 280. So I'll wait for that to warm up. 280 degrees Celsius. We'll pop off the old nozzle. And then we'll go from there. Oh yeah, PTG is just fine for the collect clip. You can do it in PLA if you really wanted to. Nothing gets hot there. So yes, this is my mostly stock. I have a black screen, so the screen is black and white instead of white on blue or whatever. And then I do have a Xenon fan on it. Other than that, it's stock. There's nothing new on here. There's no fancy, nothing. Yes, Hack. Oh, Hack Monkey. I thought it was Hack Monday. Yes, Hack Monkey. The upgrades are shipping. They're shipping slowly. Steven, Mr. Lightspeed. I have looked at the Predator. It'll definitely be, if I really like my Anycubic Castle Linear Plus, I will definitely be upgrading, or not upgrading, I'll definitely be picking up another Delta. I have almost everything ready for that Delta to do the live build. If everybody doesn't know, I bought a $220 Delta. It's the Anycubic Linear Plus version 2. It does have linear rails, carbon fiber rods, and it's just a really, for $220, it's actually a really nice starter base. It's all built out of extrusion. It's really high quality material. It is only 12 volt. The Predator is 24. But what I did was I threw I'm throwing a duet on there, and I'm also upgrading the extruder to a BMG. So we shall see how awesome that turns out. So we are at 259. So I can pull out this old filament, just push that through, pull it out. A little hot for PLA, so it might be smoking a little bit. Want to do a build together? I am not going to do a $2,300 Delta because that just sounds like a C, because those guys make awesome but very expensive Deltas. All right, so we are at temp. And if you're going to remove the nozzle on a Prusa, I highly recommend removing at least bare minimum the fan shroud, because the fan shroud gets in the way. But I also like to remove the fan, just the 50-15 blower fan, and get that the heck out of the way. So stick it in the belt there. I won't be needing these things anymore. And I'll pull the sock. I should have probably pulled the sock off first. Ooh, hot. That's a very warm sock. I haven't even seen the Pico. Yeah, the Artemis looks really cool. But I like projects. Like, once I build an Artemis, what do I do to make it better? You don't. It's already pretty darn swell. The guy who does all the clothing stuff, he's got one of those, and the work is awesome. All right. Don't forget your crescent wrench. Don't forget your socket. And what's easy is it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So my only thoughts on the Anycubic Castle are there are some design issues because the what is that thing called? The power supply comes with tinned only wires, so definitely make new wires and make sure they're not tinned, and add proper connectors to that. But it's an 8-bit board for Delta, and that's just kind of, that's going to be your limiting factor to how awesome your Delta is. So I put the $160 in to get a duet board, which does turn this thing into a $400 project, but just going to duet is going to be better. So a 32-bit Delta is kind of heaven. So you can also try the Predator, which is just a bigger version. All right, here we go. Boom, nozzle loosened. And then you can pop this thing off, and you can use it like a hand wrench. Just don't go too slow, because that will warm up really quickly. Set that down. So the nozzle's inside there. And that'll stay cool from burning your table. And preheat and cool down. Now we'll let that bad boy cool down for a little bit. But while it's cooling down, I can remove little things like this arm and this front plate here. Yeah, Chris is great. There's nothing wrong. You can't make it worse by putting a duet on there. It only gets better. You do have to learn a new thing. You know, it's RepRat firmware versus Marlin. There's a few changes there. Where is my other tool? Hold on, I gotta slide back. Ah, I'm back in. Temp am I at? 185. That's almost cool enough to start unscrewing things and not burning myself. Now, while it's still warm, it's a good idea to loosen the screws holding the thermistor and the heater cartridge. Of course, I loosen that too much. Hold that block in place. Ooh. Okay, that's loosened. And then loosen that little set screw. There we go. And then we'll wait for that to drop below 100 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. The Artemis prints really well, but I don't think it outprints the Mark III. You'll definitely be able to print taller, but I do believe the hype train is taller on the Artemis. All right. It's always fun removing parts and going like, I don't need these anymore. Here we go. We'll see which one's cooler, the Artemis or am I gonna end up being $600 Anycubic Castle? Well, mind you, I don't know how to use a duet board yet. I'm just messing with it. All right, that part's been stripped of parts. Ah. You know, Ewan, I have no idea. I think a lot of it has to do with the very poor original Mark III extruder design. There are just so many ways to build it wrong. And I think I talked about it one day on live stream. Like, if you do this, this, and this, it's going to... you know, there's so many things that you can do when you're building it that just change the overall quality of the final product. Oh, come on. There we go. And pull those two things out. Yeah, you're still warm. Stop yelling at me. All right. Old hot end removed. Sit on this desk. That desk, I don't care if you... if I get a little messy with burn marks. I actually don't mind if any of these desks get burn marks because they're just desks I pick up at the cheap place. I have a Mark 2.5. I do have a Mark IIs in parts that I could put together because there's two frames over here, and I have more than enough parts to build another Mark IIs because I've got spare things. Plenty of spare things. There might be a mini Rambo in here somewhere that doesn't have a home. All right, we're going to start taking this thing apart. I blame humans like Filament Frenzy Tom, who prints perfect all the time, and everyone's all like, mine doesn't print as good. And then they go on tinkering all day, and I'm like, I'm just gonna not work that hard. Beneficial to cool. It's always beneficial to cool the extruder. How do you mean by cooling the extruder? Because there's different forms of extruder cooling. Let me get this thing off the frame. Yeah, it's weird. In the $600 price range, there really isn't much. Like $600-700, $800. That's why I like these pet projects, like that Anycubic console. It's like, you know, buy it as a frame and do all the upgrades to it, and then end up spending the same amount you would on a Prusa, and hopefully it prints better. All right, it is below 50. I can turn this off. Unplug this. Come here. Oh, nope, dropped it. That's what I didn't want to do. It just needs more fan. The Noctua fan is a piece of poop. Yeah, I see him put it on the extruder motor, but I really feel that's more of an issue of the heat creep and everything else, and less of an actual necessity. The latest firmwares and all that have done a really good job at lowering the motor temperature. LDO has made better motors. They handle the heat better. So I think the answers are there. Versus adding heat sinks. I don't see a point in the heat sinks because I can't get mine to get above 35, 38 Celsius with all the new stuff that's been happening. Or just don't use the stock extruder. Switch to a Bear. It's a little cooler. Yeah, isn't it weird that the notifications never work? Like, I don't even know if there was a Fun in the Country basement on Sunday. Because I know it happens on Sundays. I don't know if there was one this Sunday or not, but I didn't get a notification for it. So if any of those humans are here in the chat, I apologize for not being there. Usually I show up and donate a few bucks so they can buy a drink or something. Thankfully, the recycling bag gets closer and closer, so my throws end up being shorter and shorter. Hello. Hey, it's Hello World 79 saying hello. I do have a couple different IGUS bushings coming. And I also have some Vesconite, Verconite bushings coming. Veteran, you missed absolutely nothing. I'm still ripping this thing apart. Because this extruder is not easy to just strip apart into pieces. Silly Prusa and your magical ways. I should probably take the tension off the belts too. Oh. Okay, that's off. Now, what are you stuck on? Oh, that's right, the extruder motor. There we go. Kind of sad taking this apart. This was actually a fun build. Quick change X carriage. I wish I had a quick change X. I wish I had a dual extruder X carriage. All right. Let's start stripping parts. It's always the best part. Get my tools here. So I don't need this filament sensor. This one actually died on me too. This is my newest printer. And one day it just didn't work. Man, I wish that the E3D tool changer is so cool. And then they came up with a price. I'm like, I ain't going to spend $3,000 on no tool changer, brah. I'll have to take a look at those new MMU2S files. Oh, a little tiny PTFE tube. Okay, this can go in the recycle bin. Big money, and I haven't seen a good print from it yet. I'm still waiting for for Tom to get one so I can see like a really badass print from it. And I think the Railcore team is almost done with their tests of because I know Tony from Railcore has been working on a build for the E3D tool changer. So I'll be waiting patiently for that because he knows what he's doing. He's super cool too. That's why I need to get me a Railcore. I would say Railcore is still my next printer. The 5-color Adelina looked pretty not okay. It was actually missing wingtips that didn't get printed. So for me, it was a no-go. That's right, Thomas. You have a Railcore. How's that going? That build looks super sweet. And you guys also have a really good community because the Railcore community is super good. They're like the Prusa community, but more tinker. You know, no one's asking for general questions. It's normally like, hey, man, how do I make it go to Mach 75 with 12 different extruders? That's normally what I see in the Railcore chat. The Railcore is, I don't know if there's a really a advantage. I think some of the cool features like the actual physical bed leveling and some of the parts that you can get, because they have a lot of guys who work in machining that are in the chat, so you get a lot of aluminum pieces versus printed pieces. So I think that's the biggest advantage for the Railcore is the community. Not to say the Voron community is worse. It just people are making all these really cool add-ons that I wish I had for Prusa because they will cut them out of aluminum. I'm like, I want some machined aluminum parts. I feel there's a ton of people in this group. Let me take a look here. Let me go on the YouTube and see, because what's funny is I can't see. There's 124 watching. There used to be a little thing down here that showed me how many people are watching. It won't show me anymore. I haven't 3D Gustener. I've still been working on other stuff. It's like the endless battle that goes on in my head is what's next to do, and it always ends up being something else. Oh man, this is the other thing I don't like about the Prusa design. I have to take apart all the wires out of the electronics box just to run this carriage. Silly Prusa. Yeah, the aluminum hot end mount looks awesome because the stability there is great. Let's see, what else can I throw away? Okay, these can go in the recycling bin. as the recycling bin keeps growing. Okay, so let's start taking the wires out of here. This is true. It is light. I mean, a printed part is pretty light. But I definitely do love the fact that 90% of that printer is steel and or aluminum. They're not relying so much. I mean, for the price at $2,500, it's relying 90, let's say 90%, maybe 85% on steel or aluminum parts of very high quality. I have no idea where I recycle my scraps. I just have boxes. I have 2 boxes for PLA and 2 boxes for PETG. PETG parts that have screws and bolts still in them, they go in 1 box because I'll go through them and pick out the screws and bolts because I'm just too lazy to strip them out half the time. What? Anodized blue? That's not a real color. I mean, anodized black. That's not a real color. Yes, Bernie, I'm converting the Mark III into a Mark 3S. Just the extruder, though. Yeah. All right. One bundle unbundled. Hey, Chris, what's up going, man? It's going pretty good. Definitely slow going because, you know, I got to unbundle all these wires and redo them. One fan, one extruder, bunch more thingies. You know, you think they'd use the bear idea and split this back so you don't have to take it apart every single time. Or just put a slit in it. That would be even better. But no. Gotta be complicated. Arrgh. Okay. Love my organization skills here. Just dump it on the table, hope everything is still there when I get back to it. Okay. So let's organize my piles here. One 5015 fan. One Sanan fan. One Pinda 2. One thermistor and heater cartridge. I'm gonna strip this. All right, Bondtech gear. There we go. Bondtech gear number 2, one extruder motor. Awesome. Get rid of these extra bolts and screws and springs. And definitely throw this thing away. I keep forgetting that I have this thing. think I actually made that in the garbage can. Let's see. You know, I actually like the new design. Like, I built the extruder, and I do like some of the advancements in it. I mean, it's all going to come down to how well it prints, and I have numerous prints with this thing, so I can compare. And I do like that it's easier to maintain. But as I said, they still left this carriage piece as one piece, so that annoys me to no end. Like, put a hold here so the wires just don't keep falling out, please. Okay. Well, let's get the little parts bag here and start putting parts in places. And then I get to pull up the Prusa instructions. All right. Some of the stuff I can figure out myself because I'm not a dodo bird. Let's see. Ball bearing goes in this little guy. And a small thingy goes in there. All right. And then tall thingy goes in here somewhere. This is where I get confused. Yeah, the tall one goes in here. And this thing is it on this side. Yep. Okay, small one goes in here. Awesome. Okay. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's that magnet has much force. I have no idea where that magnet went. Check my beard. No. All right, hold on. I gotta go digging for something I just threw on the ground. I'll just make a new one. Hold on. That's why I always make spare parts. Yeah, they're not attached to the magnets there. This is a cement floor, so it's probably in Netherland. Okay. Haha. It might be stuck to the chair somewhere. Don't worry, I've got more. This is this is Atomic's Emerald Green. Ooh. Silk. It's like emerald green silk is what they call it. There we go. Yeah, you know, I like to be a rebel. Like, why did Prusa write this in the instruction booklet? Oh, this is why they wrote that in the instruction booklet. So we'll put that one with the magnet over there. And then we'll put this one over there. And then I'm going to pull up the manual. My connection. What's wrong with my connection? All right. Support, knowledge base, no, assembly instructions. There we go. And English manuals, because I can't read non-English. Let's see, MK3s assembly. Wait. MK3 to MK3s upgrade. And intro and extruder disassembly. Extruder assembly. Here we go. Am I still there? All right, good old YouTube. They don't like my high qualityness. I showed off another Wexter print, and they're like, whoa, you calm down there, buddy. All right, let's bring these directions over to here so I can read them. And shrink it dinky. All right, keep magnets apart. Yep. All right, need a ball and 2 hex nuts, 2 square nuts, and M310 and M318. M310 and M318. That should be an 18. That's an 18. Okay. Ooh, and 2 magnets. All right. Yes, surprise and delight. That is the emerald. Hold on, I can't see my screen. Yep, that's the emerald silk swirl. If you look really, really close, I think there's some sparkles. Yeah, you can see some sparkling in there. There's glitter in it. Just a hint of glitter in there. I wish I had an overhand cam view. I was actually thinking about it for this video. And I didn't order what I needed to do that. It doesn't need no supports. Vexter made it. If Vexter makes it, or if Vedran makes it, you don't have to have those fancy things. All right, extruder. All right, 1 square nut to hold the pin to probe. And okay, M310 goes in here. Tighten that loosely. There we go. Yeah, I call them $1 each. So like when I'm hunting for them, I feel like I'm winning a prize anytime I find them. It's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. M3, M3, and push that pin in all the way. There we go. And then we'll seat these all the way by screwing in another screw from behind. And Andrew, I picked these up from my local I have a local family-owned hardware store called Nicholson Hardware, but I found that they do carry these on McMaster-Carr, because McMaster-Carr carries everything. Literally everything is carried at McMaster-Carr if you look hard enough. Okay, another M3 square. Good to go. Well, that wasn't so hard. Yep, I put that in there, but I'm putting that piece all the way over there. Okay, I need an M318. So this piece goes like this. Don't let it shoot out. Stick the M318 in there. Come on. Make MasterCard coffee. Yeah, isn't that fun? You have to rebuild everything one more time. All right. Hey, it's not shooting out anymore. I guess that screw that holds it down is important. Okay. Steel ball assembly. Yep, we did that. And that steel ball apparently goes in there like this. Yep, there it is. That goes down here. But yeah, I promise in the next build video, I'll have a top-down camera. So that way I can have a better view. And then what goes in there? Roll the ball to all the sides. You're silly, Batman. Yep. Okay, extruder motor. So let's set this thing down. It's calling for the motor. I need 2 M310s, which I have right here in front of me. And I also need a Bondtech and all the Bondtech stuff. That's right here in my little tray. So let's start assembling. Now I'm going to turn this thing 45 or 90 degrees like I always do. So I'm going to face it this way. And I need this part, and that goes like this. All right. Look at that. Okay, 2 screws in the bottom. Nothing fancy. And I order all my LM8 UUs directly from Misumi. They carry a THK LM8 UU, which I've been using now, and they're awesome. They're really good. The only reason is this is my printer that stays completely stock. So this will stay stock, and I can test the cool things Prusa comes up with. That's all. All right. Need the gear. Come here, gear. And the gear goes like so. Let me turn this way. And I'll line that up by eye for now. Oh, yeah. I have 2 full bear, a Mark 2.5 and a Mark 3 full bear. And I also have a not half bear, but I have a bear extruder on the blue printer behind me that's printing in the 3D Pink Mafia pink. Oh yeah, yeah, that profile should work just fine because the latest firmware will eventually have the 7x7 mesh bed leveling. So yes. Do not tighten. We need to line it properly first. See the next. Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll loosen this up like it shows. And we'll get another Allen key to get the height correct. Hey, get off there, magnet. The cutout just to save weight on the bear extruder. Nothing fancy. Okay, that looks like it should be aligned pretty okay. Tighten that down. All right. That is, for the most part, aligned. Okay, yep. Extruder body. Yep, I need another square nut. Where you at, bro? There it is. Square nut's attached. Nothing goes on that end yet. Hot end preparation. Already done that. All right, 2 screws go through here. Those are M310s. Which go through here and here. And then the hot end goes here. Well, look how fancy that is. So cute. Yeah, pretty cute. All right. That part's done. That part's done. Yeah, I don't have to lay it on there. Okay. And then this goes like this. Okay. Why are you not going together? What is stopping the going togetherness? Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh. I just need to wiggle it more. Okay. My fault. Just needed more wiggle. Yeah, I definitely think it's better. I think the alignment is still wrong, which is unfortunate. And I turned this in the wrong 90 degrees, which is it's just fine. I always got to make my mistake somewhere. But yeah, it should be better for TPU because the distance between the extruder gear and the hot end is shortened. So anytime you do that, you're always going to have better TPU printing. At least for me. I think the science is proven there. U-bolts. Who needs U-bolts? We print those things. Okay. Let's try to wiggle this thing together again. Yep, there we go. You just need to wiggle. All right, it's going together good. All right, what's the next instruction booklet? Oh, wow. And then this piece goes on. Ooh. And then I need some M340s. Okay. M340. Hopefully it's not M345. Boy, I sure am building this thing slowly. Let me just make sure that, yeah. Okay. The only drink I have behind me is a sparkling water. That seems weird. That sticks out. Oh, there's a cavity for it. Okay. So on the back of this thing, the M345 actually sticks out the back right there. It's pretty weird. I'm excited for the new PSU. It's supposedly a lot better. Supposedly. All right. Okay, line up that extruder. Tighten this thing down. Okay. And okay. Huh. This thing's actually a lot easier to put together than I thought. I don't like these. There's these hidden screws here. Let me get in closer here. Get my eyes out of the photo. So there's these hidden ones back here that you have to like angle in behind the heatsink, but they're easy enough to get to. I don't prefer that method. It's a little crude, but it'll work. All right. Back to the instruction booklet. X-carriage preparation. We need 2 M3 square nuts. One goes here, which is always the most difficult one to put in, even on the old one. Well, why didn't they use a means well? I have no idea. When I had originally asked Joseph about those things, Meanswell said they couldn't make enough of what they needed without like a huge investment. But then Creality all of a sudden has a whole bunch of Meanswell PSUs. So I have no idea. Maybe because everyone means well, Bruce is like, I'm going Delta. They make power supplies for Apple, which they do make really good power supplies. So Meanswell also makes really good power supplies. So I think in the end, we all win. Let's see, M3N2, M3NS, M3N. Okay. All right, wherever we go. Where the hex ones go? It told me to grab 2 hex ones. Where in the world would these hex ones go? Oh, they're hidey holy in here. So buried in this groove here where the belt goes, there's 2 hex nuts going here. That's a fun little hidey hole that I didn't see. Look at you hiding from me. No. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll get a longer screw and attach it that way. Yeah, it's by Vedran. He goes by Wexter. Wexter's nerdy things. I don't know where I don't even know if he's posted it yet. I was on his YouTube live building my Anycubic console, and he was and he designed that the whole like during the live stream, and then he sent it to me the next day. I don't know if he's posted it anywhere. I'm his patron on Patreon, but I haven't actually looked to see if that's where he posted it, or if he posted it on my mini factory, or that's the only 2 places I've ever seen him post stuff. So he'll have to answer for himself. So Vedran, where did you post it? Oh, it's on my mini factory. Well, it wasn't in like the hot new things, so I was confused. Normally everything you post is on the hot new things. I'll have to take a look at that and yell at them for not putting it in the hot new things section. Okay. Assembling the IR sensor. There's a cable for that. There it is. And the 3-prong end. Ooh, that's a goofy cable. 3-prong end goes all snaky like. There we go. And it hangs out this far. It says this far. I love these very definitive instructions, Prusa. Stick it out this far. And place cable there. And Yep. And attach there. Okay. I got you now, Prusa. I get what you're trying to do here. Get off of me, cable. All right, so this goes here. And a little bit more lead cable there. This goes here. Come on. Bend her on that 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree turn. There we go. And then we screw it together with these hidey hole screws. Yeah. Yeah, they really do. I really wish there was a collective agreement from Prusa to just switch to a some kind of connector instead of doing all these goofy things. Vedran, you post the direct link, and I will approve it. I'll make it easier. Let me go to Vedran here, and I'm going to add you as a moderator. There you go, Vedran. Anytime you want to share a link, you share that link. Okay. And then what? Then what's I got to do? Ooh, I get to install the sensor now. Where'd I hide that? Oh, it's inside this little baggie here. I'll also let Surprise and Delight post it. If anyone ever wants to post a link to Vedran's stuff, it's a completely legal thing to do. And thank you. This is a nice hat. It's my main personality. Oh, Vedran. You silly human. All right, we're almost there. Two guys, one printer. Ooh. I wonder what filament they're using. Just saying. Be careful. Do not touch the black blah, blah, blah. Well, I might have touched it. And then plug it in. All right. Look at that. It's all plugged in. There's your sensor. Looking pretty cool. All right. I guess it's time to put some big screws in for the thingy. Yep, make sure there's a loop. I did. Yep, M340. And boom. And that should seal the deal here. It says to always make sure that all gaps are gone, and they are. And I just dropped 3 M3 square nuts on it, tipping it upside down because I'm a genius. Kids, never let me build your extruder. I will make it fall apart. This is a really easy build, though. I'm not seeing as many errors that can happen in the build process. There's a little bit of wiggle room assembling the motor, just a little bit of wiggle room. So the self-alignment is nearly there. Other than that, it's pretty good. I said get in that little tiny slot. There we go. One more. Let's not turn it upside down again. Let's leave the turning upside down for something else. Okay, that's done. Hot end fan preparation. Oh, look at that. I've got a hot end fan. M3 14 screws. Why is it gotta be M3 14 screws? Okay. And this goes here. This goes here. And gently press the thingy into the thingy to make room for the cable. Oh, I see what they did there. There's a new way of doing this. And there's some kind of gentleness that's supposed to happen. That's silly. I can't be gentle. Don't they know that I am a mean, trash can living Oscar the Grouch? All right. Never mind, I can do it. Errors with your Pinda? What errors with your Pinda are you getting? All right. I need some very specific screws here. Ooh. That's a lot of variance in your Pinda probe. Is it extremely cold in your basement by any chance? Because sometimes, and what is your range? Are you, how high, like, what is your negative value right now for your Pinda? Because if you're above negative 0.1, it might be best to raise your Pinda a little bit. All right. Oh, I turned it upside down again and dropped those same screws. Yep, the same 3 fell out. Prusa, tighten up these holes. Okay. Fan mostly installed. One more screw. Well, that's not bad. Yeah, if you're above negative 0.1, I'd say raise it. From there, I don't think there's really much adjusting I would do with the Pinda height itself. I'm not sure what's stopping it from, or what's causing that Pinda of yours to move up and down too much. All right, time to install the other. Oh, I keep doing the upside down thing. Ooh, it is not my day. Let's try that again. Okay. We'll set this down gently over here where it can not be flipping upside down and causing me grief. Okay. Need this door right here. And we need a... I'm going to put a locking nut in there because I don't believe that might rattle loose. Okay. We're getting close, humans. I would say we are a good 30 minutes away? Maybe 40? I have no idea. But I'm going to swap the Prusa hex nut to a lock nut because the door does vibrate and rattle, and a lock nut is better for that. Plus a lock nut fits in there. So, oh, I reinstalled them. They're there, I think. If not, I'll find out. Okay. They didn't really beefing up that part, though. I would like to see a beefy. I use the original ones. The pro ones, I'm not pro, so I try to stay away from the pro socks. You know. The palm nuts don't really wear out that quickly. They can wear out, especially if they're binding. Yep, load that. Load that in there. Okay, so facing it the direction of this goes in here like this. And the pin goes in like so, if I can get it out there. The palm nuts can wear out. I don't think that fast. Definitely make sure that they're not binding. Also make sure that the threaded rods are nice and level, because there's a little bit of wiggle room in that. And I just dropped this. Why did I drop the nuts too? Yeah, the pro ones tend to end up having more issues than not. So they're not really professional as much as they are more of a headache, which is not what I expect when I hear pro. Oh, silly thing. There we go. Pro for problem. All right, am I doing this right? Yeah. There we go. Okay, we now have a Bondtech door ready. Yep, make sure it spins, and it does. And align the filament check. So let me grab a piece of filament here. And I dropped him again. I can't win. Okay. I can't win. Just keep dropping square nuts. All right. Oh yeah, that filament path is way off. That is not the proper filament path. So let's loosen that up. Okay. All right, we are lined up. Oh, that ball moves out of the way pretty easily. I like it. I had a Ruby and I just removed it. The really harsh nylon CFs that I was using stuck really well to the nozzle. I haven't been able to clean it off properly. So it's been dropping goobers on my prints. Yeah, I should probably do that in the future. I'm just going to hold it like this the rest of the time. All right, let's put the door in. And hey, that fits nicely. Okay, do not tighten this. Yep, just don't tighten too firmly. It says I can can do that. I'm an expert at I'm an expert at being gentle. You know, it works. I had no issues printing with the Ruby nozzle. It actually prints really, really well. My only issue with the Ruby was with some of the materials I was printing, things were just goobering on it a lot, and I couldn't get it to stay clean. And I took it off to clean it, and I just put a slice nozzle on it since it has that fancy anti-stick coating. Okay. Yeah, the door works well. Remember, don't over-tighten the door. It's just a door. Okay. And then I'm guessing I have to install this spring-a-ding-ding. That next? Yeah, installing a spring-a-ding-ding. Okay. First world problems. Yeah, the first thing I grabbed was Alien News. Alien News and Glow in the Dark. I started those two at the same time. All right. Our spring-loaded door is spring-loaded now. Okay, what's next? Fan support. Fan shroud. Okay, we can do that part. All right. This didn't change, so I don't know why I swapped that. Oh, don't turn upside down, Chris. Caught myself this time. David, I would do the Slice Engineering nozzle versus the Nozzle X myself because it's the original. And it works really, really well. I've been having a lot of good printing with it. And I also put a lock nut here. Hey, what's up, Mick from the UK? They posted the new extruder add-on. So they have this little printed add-on will go on top of your Bondtech extruder to give it the new sensor. And there it is. Microswiss has a new nozzle? I did not know they had a new nozzle. I think my only issue with Microswiss nozzles is they're a little taller. So they're not a direct drop-in. Hey, what's up, Willie? Or Wiles? Wileys? Professor Wiley? All right. Hey, don't twist. There we go. There we go. All right. Fan support thingy arm is on. And they want me to do the fan shroud now. So I'll use their fan shroud. Don't tip that thing sideways, Chris. No, it's literally the same thing. It's just made in the USA, and the warranty also does warranty the coating. The Nozzle X does not warrant the coating. So pick your poison. All right, one more screw. That'll work. Yeah, the clicking going away is definitely I just dropped all the things again to look at the things. Don't mind me, humans. Well, someone needs to carry their things. I think MVO3D in the Europe land carries their products. I know they carry the mosquito. Maybe they carry the nozzle. If they don't, they should probably bug them to carry the nozzle. That'd be kind of dope. All right. We have now assembled. Can't see my screen. We have now assembled the majority of this extruder. Actually, pretty easy build. I like the design. It is much smaller. It's just not as tall, which is really cool. I do like that. I do like the no as much height. Print fan installation. I can do that. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to get some nylon washers to put in between there. I'll be right back. Huzzah! Yeah, I'm going to add these nylon washers as a dampening agent for the fan. Yep, it is a direct install with a V6 hot end. So I'm running it on 2 printers that are running just a regular V6 hot end. So you will not be stuck having to use their hot end, which I do really like the mosquito, but there isn't a good Prusa extruder for it yet. In the future, maybe that's what I'll try to do this before summer starts. Design a Mosquito Mark 3S extruder. The future is now. Hey, Hawk. All right. Go to these thingy here. And then we're going to get a little longer screw, which I can find in my box of things over here. Yeah, there's so many Toxies. There's now 5, and there's a 6th printing right now. Actually, there's a 7th one. There's another one upstairs. I think maybe this screw will be the correct length. When I add the 2 washers. Yeah, there's no harm in it. So I'm going to add a washer before and a washer after. There's a little sound dampening from the vibrations. Yeah, the print quality from the slice ones has been really good. That's been my favorite thing. And I've only noticed about a 5 degrees Celsius per print heat increase. No. Why have you forsaken me? There we go. No, stop sliding out of the thingy. All right, need another tool. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't have any of those, but I do have these nylon washers, which will help a little bit. It's not the best. You know, use them if you got them. All right. Why are you being persnickety? There we go. Okay. That's better. The gummy bears. Man, those are gone. Those are long gone. All I've got is soda, water. All right. That'll work. Another nylock. Everyone's sneaking out of Hangouts today. I can't sneak out of my own. Well, I guess I could. I don't know how productive that would be. It was 10%. I just used my dummy setting. My like will work for anything setting. But 5% should work just fine. I don't see any issue with going to 5. It might even print hollow with enough shells. Ooh. It's his fault he told me you were alive. That's see, you can't tell people that I'm live. That's just that's always going to make people run here. Okay. And a pin to probe. Looks like it's going to be the last thing to attach here. Get in there, pin to probe. All right, wait, hold on. I got to read the instructions. Yeah, pin to. Yep, okay. Just making sure the instructions are up to what I'm doing. And I'm going to eyeball this. Eyeball this pin to probe. Okay. And this goes like this. And this goes behind there. Always leave extra room for the fan in case you want to take that off. So I like to add a little loop there as well. Partially tighten down the pin to mount. Okay. Huzzah. And now we need to put the correct backing on the extruder. Oh, wait, I got to put the lid on. Hold on. Where's the lid? Here's the lid. And, oh, look at that. I have it backwards. No, that was correct. But I do need to move this square nut down. There we go. M310. You got to make dinner. What are you making me for dinner, bro? I'm getting hungered over here. Well, actually, I'm not super hungry, but feeling peckish. All right, new extruder. That does feel a lot lighter. The German 3D printing nerd. All right. That's done. That's done. We won't lay that thing down backwards so it falls apart. Zip ties. Oh, that's right. Okay. Hey, get out from under there. Let go of my wire. Okay, that can go there. As I make noises. Okay. Here's the correct backing. Here's this piece. Now I'll place these extra bits in here for now. Always make sure you have a thingy to hold all your things. Sure makes cleanup a breeze. Old nozzle. Yeah, that, this. This can go here. Okay. Eventually someone will sell the sensor by itself. So then you don't need to buy the kit. You just need to buy the sensor and a, was it 7mm steel ball? I can never remember what the sizes of the steel ball that's needed. I believe it's 7mm. But I've been wrong many a time. All right. Toxie. I got to clip off the bearings. And remove tension. Definitely remove the belt tension. So let's unscrew. This thing goes through here. And then... Oh, that's right. It is on AliExpress, isn't it? I bet Orlando will get them in, too. All right. That was easy enough. Okay. 2 of the 10 zip ties will be used for this. This is a lot lighter. I'll weigh it and find out. Okay. Hey, I want a powder-coated bed voucher. I'm streaming. I can't check emails. Multitasking. It's a lot of work. Okay. Ted, I like the add-on box. It makes it free for everyone who already has a Mark III Bondtech extruder. So, and it works. So, I have no idea what month they're on. They're definitely behind. Those sensors. It'll always be the bane of the Prusa. Ugh. All right. Ooh. Yeah, I ordered my Prusa day 1, and I never did receive a voucher yet. They did send me a prototype to test and stuff, but I don't know if that counted as my voucher. But my prototype is in pretty bad shape. All right. The secret to proper Prusa belt tension. Take this silly motor off. Well, your MMU2S should be going faster now because that's what they're shipping. Okay. All right. Done. I think Greg is almost ready to post the new Bear Extruder with the MK3s add-on. I think. I don't want to speak for him, but I remember seeing a post on his forum that he shared an image of a ready one. Well, dang it, Meow. I need to get on that then. Pancake tossing. That sounds like a great new sport. Instead of like frisbee for distance. We could do the pancake toss. Or muscular pancakes and use waffles. The song of my people. Okay. Whew. Extruder is partially on. And let me check my phone. I have a shoot today, so I got to make sure that nobody's messaging me for today's shoot. Ooh, I have packages at the door and 17 emails. Oh, look, all those new subscribers. A whole bunch of new subscribers and emails that I don't need. So we'll delete all these. We have Tomek, we have Daniel and Mooch. And more stuff. And Peter. Was that like 5? 5 new members? 5 new subs? Hey, Greg. Secret feature. Will it glow in the dark? Because I consider that a secret feature. I mean, yeah, Bart, it should be in the upgrade kit. And I'm not doing the belt tensioner today because I don't know why. I have no idea I should, but I didn't print it. And I really just want to do the extruder so people can hop on and look at the extruder. It's so fancy, even though I didn't screw it in yet. It's so smooth. All right, let's look at the directions because I need to put this back plate on still. Let me move this bad boy a little bit so it's not in my face. There you go, camera. Can you see me better now, camera? Good. I have not tried running filament down there. I ran a hex key and lined it up like I normally would. Not too worried about the alignment. It actually wasn't too bad to align, unlike the original Mark III. Or even the R3 design. So pretty happy about that. You need a different Z because there's no PI. There's not as much PI gap between the metal sheet is probing and the PI. So I'm usually a little bit more live Z to get to the bed. It's not too much. Okay. Wire bundle is in. And I got to thread all the wires through this thing. Okay. My favorite part. Ugh. So we got our brand new sensor wire. Our awesome extruder motor wire. My only upgrade, the Sanan fan wire. And I just dropped a wire? Oh, that's the old filament sensor cable. We don't need that. And then pin to probe. You can add a little bit of Z adjustment in your profiles. So technically, yes. But there's not one in the printer, and I'd love to see that in the printer. That'd be so cool. All 3D makers should have them back in stock, I believe. DigiKey sometimes sells them, but they've been out of stock for a while. So yeah, there's a few places to go. All right, time for a bunch of M310s. That's not an M310. There we go. Yes, don't forget about the Delta. Forget the model number. Hey, what's up? Latte is a biscotti. That sounds good. I like biscottis. Love lemon biscottis. Don't know why. All right. What screws are needed? I already did all that. Prusa guide. What? No. Ah. M340. Corndog Joe, you just if you're doing the Misumi upgrade, make sure to get the proper bearings and rods, because the PSFJ series rods, which are typically suggested, are a little small for the LM8U bearings, LMU8 bearings that Misumi sells. I recommend the PSFJ rods with the THK bearings that Misumi sells. So give that a whirl. I think you'll be happier. Huh. No, I haven't tried any water cooling. That sounds super cool, though. Definitely on my list of things I really want to try. All right, M340, you say? Well, M345. I'll go my box of things. It really doesn't add too much weight because they throw everything on the ground. Because most of the weight is off the frame. You're adding a lot of that weight as a cooler unit, and the heat break is actually pretty light. I did that wrong. What magical screw is that? It doesn't show me what screw that is. Let's see. If you were to do the rods, I believe the rods come out to be about $12 a piece. And the bearings are about $6 a piece. So you're looking at like $30 just for the x-axis. All right. We've now assembled it. So now we have to do some wiring stuff. Thermistor, heater core need to go on. I need to wire this bad boy. And then we can print. I lost a foot. Yeah, Mooch, with those J rods, make sure to check that they're not too loose. Because that was my issue before, was the J rods with the Misumi bearings are actually a little loose. They're meant for more weight. So when you put a lot of weight on them, they roll great. But when they don't have as much weight like our printers, they tend to rattle, which is negative. Yeah, yeah, it definitely gets louder. Yeah, just I had a huge post on the Prusa community. Oh, my pop filter isn't working because it's actually touching my microphone. Pop, 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 pop. That's better. Yeah, the Masumi for 3D printers recommends the U rods with their LM-U8 bearings. Okay, I need to tighten a few things here. That's the tiny one. Here's a tiny one. Oh. All right, I'm going to leave the fan shroud off because I need to heat and tighten the nozzle. So I just need to run all the cable management, turn it on, heat it, set the nozzle, set it to cool down, reapply the fan shroud, and then I can run test sprints. Oh, no, then I got to do a first layer. Oh, veteran, good night. It's only 8 o'clock your time, man. You're getting old. Not as old as um, David, though. He's the oldest. Oh, okay. Let's do this wire bundling. Yeah, what a cable mess. You're telling me. I can't wait till Prusa goes, man, we should maybe minimize these number of cables. That would be so awesome. I'm going to whisper to Joseph. Joseph, please fix our cable bundles by using less cable. It's not the same type. It's a fire retardant plastic. I go to wirecare.com and they sell all these different ones, including the ones that Prusa uses. I just like these because I can get it in a cool color. Few more zip ties. Okay. Looks good. Okay. And hopefully I didn't throw away. Nope, I didn't throw away the clamp. Whew. Whew. I've done sillier things before, though. Is it soup? If soup means ready, pretty close to soup. Okay. All right. Let's wire these electronics back. Of course, I do need to read which way it's wired. So let's go the electronics assembly. You know what's funny is zip ties are used in extremely high-end equipment. They are structurally sound and extremely well made. I know everyone picks on zip ties. Actually, tons of them use zip ties. I mean, they're kind of awesome. Just saying. All right. The white cable goes to the left. All right. Plugged in. Imagine the royalties on zip ties. They're probably Creative Commons or, you know, royalty free by now. Or maybe not. Who knows? Well, you do know that Joseph does everything there. I mean, there is no staff. I can vouch for that. Okay, what goes where? Yellow wire is extruder thermistor. He has robots. I mean, he does have robots. Nobody's denying the fact that he has robots. Tristan is on the correctness there. The military can use them. We can use them. All right. I bet the mister. Okay, we look wired. Think we did it. Have a good morning, Ted. I am pretty positive because I have been using the J rods with the LMU8 bearings, and there's always a little bit of a rattle. So then I called them, And I talked to the guys there, and they're like, oh, you don't have much load on there. You'd be better off with the U-rods because they would hold the bearings a little tighter, so you won't get the weird rattling noise. But then I found the THK bearings are just a little tighter, and they are double sealed. They're LM8UUs. So they're double sealed like the stock Prusa bearings, which makes them, again, superior because more seals the better. Because, you know, seals. We did it. It's done. It's complete. It's built. So let me find the power cable and make sure it turns on. Yep, that sounds good. Wires are good. Cable's coming out the back end here. That's fine. That's out here. Memory card's in there. I can put the filament roll back on top here. And all I need to do now is heat it up to get the nozzle installed all the way. Let me go find that power cable. All right, turned on. I ain't got no clone printers behind me. All right, no fire. Screen looks good. Temperature looks good. So settings. Nozzle. $275 or $280. $280. I feel better now. This print's still going. That pink looks awesome back there. I would do the LDO Power Pancake versus the Moon's Pancake. One, it's less expensive. Two, it's awesome. Oh, that crazy guy. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. He's super fancy. It's funny, if I take off my mask, I'm just Joseph. So there's that for you. I am the Joseph Prusa farm. Please direct all your quality print issues to me. All right. Must get this back. 7mm wrench. Oh, yeah. I use Velcro on all my printers. I mean, who wouldn't? This is way fake. I just glue it on every morning, hair by hair. It takes a while. I mean, have you seen Joseph and I in the same room ever? I'm just saying. I mean, when you go to Murph, anytime you see Joseph, I won't be around. Oh, good times. 260. We're getting real close. We're just going to get this nozzle up to at least 275, and we're going to give it a quarter turn tightening. And then I'll run some cleaning filament through it to make sure there's no particles in there. Oh no, you've seen me and Batman in the same room. So, I mean, you have. So, all right, 280 it is. Done. 105 euros. That is many euros. You know, I love gyros, which I usually pronounce euros. So every time I read euros, I'm like, I'm hungry. That would be lovely. All right, nozzle's tightened. Let's, I'm going to get some cleaning filament. I am Oscar the Grouch. Okay, let's turn on some things. So probably in settings, filament sensor. Let's, oh, filament sensor on, main. Okay, let's load some filament and see what happens. Oh my gosh, it auto-loaded. It does for me. Cleaning filament just has a little bit of detergent in it. But mostly it's just a high temp filament. So you can just use nylon and let it soak up a bunch of liquid. Just like leave it out, let the moisture suck up to it. But I like to run it when I first install a new hot end. I'll run it to make sure there's no grit and grind in there. So, yes. And now I'll turn this to cool down. And what I'll do is I'll run it at the 280 that I installed the nozzle at. And then I'll let it cool down a little bit and run it a little bit more just to make sure there's no particulates that are going to mess up my first prints. Get focusing on my face. Silly thing. I wouldn't upgrade the Z-Rod bearings. But I will have a whole bunch of new Dryland style bearings coming into test too. So I got some actual Dryland coming in, or Duralin, or whatever they're called. And then some Veconite, Becosinite. Don't do this at home, kids. Hot. Ooh. No, just the bearings. Okay. So settings, move axis, extruder. Move that a touch while it's cooled down slightly. Okay. And then now that it's below temp, let me settings and turn off motors. Disable steppers. Good enough. Still got to set the pin to height and the first layer. So, temperature, nozzle. Oh, dang it. Settings, main, preheat, PLA. Man, winter's still going on in the Chicagoland area. It is a high of 16 at the moment, low of 6. David, that is correct. Which silicone cover? I just use the standard one, not the Pro. So the one with the big hole. Because the tiny hole tends to end up ripping apart or becoming gunky or something like that. All right. make sure to seat your nozzle shroud into the correct depth before tightening it, or you will maybe close to break it. Thought I had it flush, but I did not. Okay. So let's do a home all. So calibration, auto home. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, U with J with THK, U with LMU8. Okay. And settings. Oh, man. Turn this thing off real quick. Rawr. All right, we're going to use one of these zip ties. Thankfully, there's one left. Boom. All right, now we can do the first layer calibration because the pin to height is set somewhat correctly. I'm going to zero it out, though, here. So I think it's calibration and nope, main and settings and live Z is right there. Live Z adjust. And we'll go to 0. Spin me right round, baby, right round. Okay. Main. Preheat. Let's preheat the PLA and insert our filament. No fancy filament here. Just white. I made it into one of the boxes. And it's loading. This filament sensor works. Let me lower this thing down now. Most worthy. That's a good question. I think the Sanan fan and replacing the Noctua in general is definitely the best route. Let me do a quick PID auto tune too. So settings and PID. Oh dang, that's under calibration. PID calibration. Temp there. There we go. Since this is a new hot end, I probably should do that. And also a new fan and everything. Yeah, you cool down, hot end. I haven't tried the ice slicer. I've been trying voxelizer. I was thermal runway. You poopy pants. There was no thermal runway. I just had the temperature already set, and you didn't know what to do. Calibration. PID calibration. 215. Definitely the Sanan fan. I wouldn't worry about the Moon's motor. A really nice fan will do a lot for you. So, ooh, that PID calibration went up real fast. Yeah, you'll see more benefit out of the Sanan because just getting that hot end cooler is going to help out with heat creep and possible jams, and your print quality might actually go up depending on how bad it is. Yay, it's already on its second PID calibration. Yeah, that's for essentials. Sanan fan, because that Nocta was just lethargic. I do like having a reverse Bowden. It's not a huge update. Yes, the side one, so the 4010. Not the 5015. The little thin slim guy back there on the side. It's weird though. So the E3D 30mm one's actually more powerful. Theoretically, it should help MMU tips. Walter, the only people who have the THK LM8UU is going to be Masumi USA. They're about $6 a pop. And they're really nice. I actually really like the bearings. I have a brand new set of them. Because I put them on... yeah, I put them on this one. They're on that printer. They're very nice. They're a little bit quieter than the... because they have the extra seal, they're a little bit quieter than the Masumi ones, the stock Masumi bearings. All right, one last calibration. And then I'm going to do a first layer calibration, and then we're going to do then we'll print from the SD card, the stock, whatever that guy is called, the Benchy. We'll print a stock Benchy. Calibration, first layer calibration. PLA is loaded. Bed heating. Let me clean this bed real quick. Yep, Corn Dog Joe is correct. Sun on. There we go. Squeaky clean. Hey, get out of there. The smell of booze. Oh, come on, first layer. Lester, won't be the first time I've used Dryland. The first time I used them, I wore them oval. And didn't have a good experience. It kept binding. But I know more now than I did then. And I'm also going to get its main competitor, who specifically made bearings that are actually impregnated with super lube with PTFE. So I think that's super awesome. So I'm going to give them all a good try. It was about 3 months. And I just kept noticing it was getting worse and worse. So I finally decided to figure out what was going on, and they were worn all sorts of weird. David, the best place that I've seen is, I believe all 3D Makers has it, but I also believe you can get them from DigiKey or maybe even Mouser. Someone should be able to find the right model number for you. I have heard of the ICO. Hey, look at that. I think I got the live Z right. All right. That is sticking well. 0.580. It's about where I was last time. Ooh. How long did it take me to grow this beard? I trim it constantly. It's hard to believe, but I do trim it every 2 weeks. I go to the barber and he trims up my beard. But probably took me maybe a year to get to this point, but I've been trimming it back. It would be longer if I didn't trim it. You can blindly using the Prusa menu to see how well I memorized it. That's not a bad project to try one day. See who knows the menu more, me versus somebody else. My memorization skills are bad. I have a hard time remembering half the stuff is. Oh, that was too close. So settings, live Z adjust, and I look like I am about a tenth off. So we're gonna go to 4.50 and start our benchy. Ugh, gross. Gross. I made a mess. This PI sheet grabs way too well. And one thing I should do before printing is send this extruder all the way to the top. So let me do a Z calibration too. So preheat, calibration, calibrate is just the Z, not XYZ, just Z. And yeah, auto home. Do your thing. So I forgot to make sure my gantry is level. Why start printing if the gantry isn't level? That's what I always say. Yep, the gantry was slightly off level. Yeah, G99, not the F99, and not the A99. I believe the A99 is the one that has 2 wires. I could be wrong. You definitely want the 3-wire one. Come here. Get the rest of this PI off my, or PLA off my PI. All right, guess not. We'll print with it. All right. So print from SD and benchy, 1.5 millimeters, right? Yep. All right, let's see if it does anything. Yes, it can only be the G99. There are many model numbers. There's only one specific that will work. Check my messages. Yeah, you make all the noises, printer. Boom. 11 emails. I just deleted a bunch. All right. No, I don't want to buy your filament. No. Hey, Sean joined and Sheepskeep person. And Mustafa. All right, that looks like a good first layer. Okay. Yeah, there's a few alternatives, but there's a Sanan and a Delta. Starved Rock. All right, weddings in Starved Rock. I need to arrive at noon. I have a wedding this weekend. Okay. First layer's looking pretty good. I'm out of refreshing beverage. Luckily, there's a 24 count of sparkling water underneath my table. First layer looks pretty good. So good news. People who are looking to upgrade their screen. It's hard to tell, but that's a black and white screen, not a blue on white screen. Printed Solid will be carrying just the back with no screen attached. So you can buy whatever screen you want, and I got mine from buydisplays.com. They're pretty inexpensive. They're like super cheap, and they're not the best black and white screens, but they work. But you can go to like Adafruit and buy nicer ones that I don't think they have the black and white ones, but nicer ones. So Printed Solid will soon have just the back with no screen on it. Oh man, Thorben. The biggest differences between the Mark III and the Rail Core, there's some huge differences. The Rail Core is in a Core XY, so you're going to have the Z moving up and down as a bed plate. The gantry will stay the same, so you should have less chance for artifacting. And the lighter you get the extruder head, the better. So you no longer have this big plate moving back and forth. It's just moving up and down. It's 300 by 300 by 300, but they do have a 600 tall variant. So 300 by 300 by 600, the ZLT model. So if you want to have extra printing room, you can make that happen. Adding things is a lot easier. So if you want to go to a V6 or a Mosquito or a J-head, or you want a BMG or a Titan or whatever, and any combination of that, it's much easier to do on the rail core than it is on a Prusa. So the advantages are aplenty. It can actually print a first layer at 0.05 millimeters because the aluminum build plate is that flat. So it's really inexpensive for what it is. Getting married on October 19th. If it's this year, I'm probably not available because I book up a year in advance. So let me look. October 19th of this year, I am booked. I'm shooting Amanda and Justin's wedding. But if it's next year, most likely I am free. You know, I don't know why they avoid lights. The artillery printer, the one that stole the images from Tom Jackson, it has LED lights, which is pretty dope. So you can have a little extruder light that's a different color. It's actually an RGB array, I think, if I remember correctly. Printer is working. I'm hearing no clicking. Extrusion looks good. I picked white because this would give me a better idea of how bad or good it's printing. The stock rods aren't bad, Schweizer. They're not bad actually. I have just gone to stock rods with the THK bearings, and they're fine. I wouldn't change the rods unless you've got bad rods or they're scored, because the Prusa rods are actually hardened. I mean, they're the same thing, but I wouldn't put Masumi bearings on them. I'd get the THK bearings. Oh, they're always tilted because they have the connector, and the connector has that big bump out, and the bump out actually hits the fan, and it makes it hard to do anything. It'll actually bump this little arm, so you turn them 90 degrees to the left. That way, there's room, and it won't bump into anything. Yeah, Noctuas are meant to be case fans. If you notice, their most powerful fan is that gigantic CPU fan, and it's a very specific fan for a very specific cooling system, and it works awesome. But it's a case fan. It's there's a big difference between a case fan and a cooling fan for a heatsink. You need more static pressure because all those little fins are just causing turbulence, and it's really hard for that air to push through. So a Noctua fan you're putting it in the worst case scenario. It has a very low amount of pressure and it's very slow spinning. It's only 4,000 RPM, so you're not getting a lot of air through it, and then you trying to force it through, force it through a little tiny heatsink. It's not a good combination. Now, if you have the hot end like on the Creality printers, that's easier. It can do that. It could probably work on a Mosquito just fine. But on the E3DV6 with those thin little slits, you're going to have an issue trying to keep all the air pushing through. Ooh. Yeah, you won't burn up your electronics easily on a Mark III. You'd have to really try. I've definitely plugged things in the wrong port and not set anything on fire, so it's pretty safe. The fact that it has just standard car fuses is also very nice. So you can stock up on car fuses. So if you're really experimenting, I highly recommend. They've definitely overpowered some motors because I ran one on all 0.9 millimeter or 0.9 degree motors, and I had to up the current on all of them, and I blew one fuse. So you can do that. You can definitely make it to pull, and I think that's probably a better method with the Noctua fan. But the way the air is designed to go through this is a push, but with a Noctua, it might actually be better to go the other way. Print's looking good, not failing. I feel like there's a lot of air blowing out from the fan. Ooh. Now, the one thing about the Anycubic Formax, let me ask you a question. When you had to wire it together, were the power supply cables bare and it had a little bit of solder on them, and they put it in a crimp? Because I noticed that on my Anycubic, the Anycubic Castle Linear Plus that I have, it just has tinned wires that you're supposed to shove in a Phoenix connector, which is bad. That's bad juju. You never stick a soldered bare wire into a connector to crimp, because over time, that crimp will loosen, or not the crimp, but the actual, yeah, the little holder will eventually loosen over time because that tinning will soften, and then all of a sudden you arc, and then you get a little spark, and that spark could cause fire. Oh, look at that little guy go. Yeah, you don't even want to stick a bare wire in there either. That's also bad juju. It's worse when it's tin, but the connector is meant to have what's called a bootlace crimp on it. So it's meant to have a circular ferrule, an insulated circular ferrule that's bootlace crimped, and then put in there. And I actually posted that on Twitter the other day, and Anycubic's like, "Oh, sorry, what's wrong?" And I was like, "This is bad. Like, this is how you start fires." And like, "Oh, we'll look into it." And I was like, "I hope, because it is how you start fires." Yeah, THK and stock rods work, and it is less money. So, you know, there's multiple. There's three really good options. So, U rods with Misumi bearings, J rods with THK bearings, or you can do stock with the THK bearings. So, yeah, the Mark 2.5 is 12 volt max because your power supply is only 12 volts. Ooh, PG, I have no idea. I will have more info. This is the first time I've used the new extruder, and I do like it. I do like how this is a much smaller versus the previous extruder that was on the Mark III. This is a lot nicer, a little easier to install. There's definitely less room for error. I couldn't. I definitely will look at it again to see where the error points will be, and I'm printing my first print on it, so I have no data points to say which one's better. I do prefer the gearing, and I do prefer the advancements in the cooling of the hot end that are done in the Bear, or not the Bear, the BMG extruder, that are not in the Prusa. Yeah, I'm learning too. So I'm as soon as I learn something new that's important, I try to make sure to post it, because I have no idea on wiring stuff, and I plan on eventually making my own printers. Not like for sale, just, you know, I want to tinker to the point where I can build my own printer and be like, hey, look, I made this. Isn't this cool? So I've learned a little bit of firmware, and I've learned a little bit about that. But the other end is, you know, making sure you have the right connectors and the right crimpers and all that stuff. Zerbo XN is great. The Zerbo XN is great because it will work with the Bear extruder, not the Bear. It'll work with the BMG extruder, and it'll work with the Zerbo extruder. And I believe they have an adapter to use the stock Mark III, the R3 version extruder. So you have the most use cases with that. If you switch to the Bear X ends, you have to use the Bear extruder or the BMG extruder with a different Bear carriage. So you have options. All right, let's see how well this is put together. Oh, gross. I'm still printing. Multiple anvils. Yeah, crimpers can get expensive, but if you're gonna do more than just assemble your stock printer, you're gonna like do some cool tinkering. Like, you know, I'd love to throw a different power supply on stuff. Pock your finger. It's definitely good to have the tools for that, because crimping it manually is a pain in the butt. All right. Come on, clip. What is this? I like this cable sleeve too, man. That it just sets it off. A little bit of orange. It's wirecare.com sells all these fancy new cables. I was looking for a green one, but I'll take the orange. Yeah, the black power supply is gonna be nice, so I'll wait for someone to get that going. This is the other thing I hate. See, the normal thermal paste becomes gunky, so you can't just twist the old. So I use a special technique to remove the old heatsink. I set the heatsink in really deep into the heater core, or heater cartridge, or heater core, the heater block. Then I screw in the nozzle, tighten it in there slightly, and then hopefully it unscrews. Nope, a little bit tighter with the nozzle. And I got to unlock the heat break from the. Nope, still in there. See, this is why you use the fancy stuff, the slice goo, slice sauce. You don't need a tool. Okay, let's try this again. See if I can remove this silly heat break from the. There we go. Yeah, because that thermal paste on here just turns to gunk. Oh, it's so hard to clean. Yeah, Mihao, it is a toy, not a fan. It's not even a. I mean, it's a fan, all right. You can call it a fan. All right, one really pretty. It actually came in my UFO Maker, UFO alien box. It's a hardened micro Swiss nozzle. They have such nice things that they do add-ons because they want to add materials that are of the more difficult to print style. So included that in one of the kits. All right, let's clean up this heat break. It moves air. This is correct. The Noctua does move air in a fashion. But even the 12-volt Noctua is... it's whatever. It's fun. Not a fan. Oh, this thing is so gross. I hate... thermal paste is gross. Doesn't clean easily. Hey, what's up, Joss? We just finished assembling something. We just finished switching this from a stock Mark III to a pretty much stock Mark IIIs. The filament sensor works. I am just using isopropyl alcohol. So this bottle just has ISO in it. It's safe. I usually just soak the heat break in it for a little bit to get most of the stuff off. And then I'll come in with a wire brush and try to get the rest of it. I'll do that now. Oh, the link comes through. I approved it. This is working pretty good. Oh. Yeah, Brandon, you're super late. I started this thing at like noon. It was 11. We've been doing this for 3 hours. But I won't be printing the whole thing. I'm going to wait till we get to a certain point, and then I'm going to snip the filament. And once we snip the filament, we'll see if the filament runout sensor works. Because that's all we're here for. Does the sensor work? And I haven't been able to practice it. So we only did the extruder. We didn't do the y-axis. But it was a complete disassemble and assemble. And I built a hot end too. So I probably could have done it faster. But, you know, speed isn't everything. I guess that's clean enough for now. It is so grody, though. Ugh. I just pulled out 3 hot ends and cleaned them out the other day, and they were not this gross. This printer has not had much use. Well, it hasn't as much use as the other printers because the other printers have been here longer. This is the newest printer. So, all right. One more little soak. Yeah, I should have ordered an MMU2S upgrade. I was told that because I beta tested the MMU2, I would be shipped an upgrade for that as well. There's been no posted shipping on that yet, so when and if that happens, I have no idea. I should order one too, just to get one early and test it. Okay, well, there's one heat break that's cleaner, and I can partially clean this. Yeah, Brian, I end up using the Slice Engineering boron nitride paste, which ends up being a better overall. Oh, I got to find some Q-tips. Brandon, you want the thermal paste because it's going to make sure you have a perfect connection between the heat sink and the heat break, so it can transfer the heat better. So there's always thermal paste on the heat break to the end that connects to the heat sink. For a while, I was using Arctic's MX4. It does grip really well. So once you've used it for a while, disconnecting the two ends up being pretty difficult. Brandon, this is the end that connects the heat sink, so you want the thermal to pull away. So you're doing the opposite in this. The heat sink is drawing the heat away from the heat break, and the better connection you have to the heat sink, the better it is at doing that. So if you don't have that thermal paste, your thermal properties will be worse. So the heat won't transfer as well away. Ooh, a nano. Yeah, the heat break has a cold and a hot end, and the cold end you want to cool as quickly and as efficiently as possible. The hot end doesn't matter. The hot end's going to get hot. You don't have to put thermal paste there. But the cold end, you definitely want the thermal paste, so that way the cooling end happens as efficiently as possible. All right, I think I'm at the point where I want to snip my wire here. So the brand I'm using is the Slice boron nitride paste, which is, it has like the highest thermal properties, and it also acts as a agent to let go. So it's once you need to take things apart, they won't stick together like it happened here. Dan, there's already been a Mark 2.5S Bondtech. You just take the regular Bondtech extruder and add the little add-on box, so you can use the thingy. Yeah, I'm cleaning the thread inside right now because it is gunky, and I definitely want to get rid of the old stuff because that's just going to continue to be see, there's John with the science. Yeah, I've just never added it. I never knew why. I kind of figured, but all right, we're getting really close to that filament sensor. Let's find out. Didn't do anything. Oh, it halted. That was a really harsh hold. And it's beeping. What's it asking me to do here? Please press the knob to unload filament. Oh, look at that. Please pull out filament immediately. Yes. Insert filament. Oh, it's working. By the way, this is quieter because this is not the stock Smart 2014. The beep is much better. Yes. It worked. It's waiting, and there it goes. Good job, Prusa. I approve of this highly effective thing. Yeah, you can put that paste on the heater cartridges and on the thermistor. And that's why this one was so easy to take apart. I did put that on here when I did this one. So that's why I wasn't sitting there trying to pry it out, because sometimes those metals will bond and then you end up having to sit there forever trying to take it apart. All right. Well, I think I am good. That's all I wanted to do was test that feature live, make sure it works, and do some cleaning, I guess. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just did some cleaning. So I'm going to head off and do my thing. I got to get ready for a photo shoot tonight. But the new sensor works. Extruder design, I like it. I think that went together pretty well. I did find, compared to the R3 extruder, there's less chance to make mistakes in assembling it. I will definitely practice a little bit more on taking it apart. Yeah, I need a spiral brush to clean this thing. I'm just in here with a Q-tip going like, it's not really coming out. So that's my final thought really on it. Is it works just fine. Definitely liking it, just for the sheer fact it should always work. And the mechanism that's used with the magnet should never wear, and the actual sensor should never be affected by any filament. So but yeah, I think it's definitely a bigger improvement than I thought it was going to be. I did an initial test assembly and I was like, this seems weird. But following the directions and looking at what they mentioned on how to assemble it definitely made sense. And as usual, the guide is awesome from Prusa. The fact it worked the one time out of one is kind of awesome. You know, so hooray. Thank you, Prusa. Thank you, Joseph, who did all of the work designing and implementing this all by himself. There is no engineers at Prusa. There's just Joseph. So thank you, Joseph, that did all of the work here to make this happen. He even assembled this today. I'm just Joseph wearing a beard today and a fancy hat. So yeah, it works. I'm going to continue testing it and making sure it continues. It's not going to be fooled by any random filament. I'm going to see if I can find some really undersized filament, some like 1.6, 1.65. Maybe we'll get some Matter Hackers build series because it's plus minus 0.1 millimeters. It's quite the variance. So I'll see if I can get a roll that's, maybe if I can find some Maker Geeks filament. Definitely try some flex. There isn't a lot of strength. It's not, sliding in that filament is super easy. Like that ball is not under much pressure. So really happy about that. So flex shouldn't be an issue trying to insert it. And as soon as I get a MMU2S upgrade, I'll flop this thing to the multi-material version and throw the multi-material on there and see how that works. So yeah, other than that, that was a pretty easy build. It took me a little bit longer than I thought, but it happens. So everyone, thank you for staying however long you stayed. I think it was 3 hours and 15 minutes that we've been here. So I will do a video on upgrading it to the MMU2S variant. I'll also do a video when I get a chance on how to take this thing apart. So it's supposed to be really easy to take apart. So we're gonna definitely see how that goes. I'll build another hotend and swap it. Venturi slot is not sucking in any air, but that's my one beef. Sorry, guys at Prusa. Sorry, Joseph. So everyone, thank you. Yeah, if I keep the square nuts in the holes, it would have been way faster. So thanks everyone for sticking around. I'm gonna go do things. I'm gonna let this print. Print's looking okay. I mean, I don't see anything worse or better about it. It's white filament. So everyone go enjoy. Build your Mark 3S's easily. It's awesome. So goodbye. Enjoy. Stay tuned for more videos. Hit the like button. Ding my bells. I forget what all the other YouTubers say. So good night or good day.